Hey everybody, and welcome to part 2 of the Venetian Dominion AAR. When we last left off Venice, it was practically under siege by the combined forces of Austria and Milan. As you can see here, there's about 38,000 troops in Treviso. The only thing holding them back is the Venice Navy, which you can see at the bottom of the screenshot here. They'll eventually take this province, but they won't be able to cross into Venice because of my fleet. We can see here that Byzantium is also getting in on the act and has laid siege to Athens. I decided to bring in some help of my own and offered Cyprus an alliance. I've always found them to be very aggressive and good allies in this game, so I brought them on board and they accepted. With most of the Byzantine forces occupied elsewhere, I was able to land on Thrace and capture the city. With multiple wars and territory lost overseas, I decided to settle for now. I was able to get some prestige out of it, so it was not a total loss. With one war over, I decided to wait out the second one versus Austria and Milan. Eventually, they pretty much got tired of just seizing my province and not be able to do anything, so I was able to get a peace deal where I just conceded defeat. I had to lose a little prestige, but I think it was worth it to free up my troops for my next planned conquest, which was going to be Montenegro and Byzantium. Luckily, I had a reconquest casus belli against Zeta, otherwise known as Montenegro, who were still allied with Byzantium. So I took advantage of that and declared war. Luckily, Byzantium still had not really recovered much from the previous war, and I was able to take out their forces and left both with no armies at all. I landed troops on Thrace and in Zeta, and the sieges were no problems. So it was time to take it to the peace table. Something strange happened on the way to that peace table, though. It seems one of my allies, Moria, was able to get credit for Montenegro, and they ended up annexing him before I could do that myself. So I had to settle for Byzantium as a vassal. Now, one thing I love to do in this game is try to help Byzantium rebuild their empire. So through my wars in the future, I'm going to try to get them provinces and try to rebuild their strength in Turkey and Greece. They'll be good allies to have if they're strong, because they like to fight too. Venice was cruising along pretty quietly. Nothing really happening, so there was a whole bunch of alliances in North Africa and the Middle East, so I wasn't able to start much trouble. But then I got a casus belli because one of my alliance members went to war with Aragon. So I decided that this would be a good time to get involved, see if I could grab an island or maybe some territory in Spain. So the entire Venetian army, all 4,000 men, were shipped over to Spain and offloaded. I took siege of a province, and things were going well. You could see that some territory has already been claimed, some has been claimed by revolts, so I thought I might have a good chance of getting a siege before meeting up with any stiff resistance. But alas, my gamble did not pay off. A peace treaty was signed, and a lot of the territory reverted back to Aragon's control, and that left them to focus on me. And as you can see, they brought a much bigger army, were inflicting pretty big losses. My fleet was nowhere to be seen. It was suffering from attrition, so I had to send it all the way back to Albania to rest up. And this just happened to happen at the same time. So my army is in pretty big trouble right here. I quickly offered them a peace treaty, just a white peace, and thankfully they accepted and spared a couple thousand of my men. I lost about half my whole army there, which is going to hurt, but luckily it's a small amount, so it's easy to replace. In the end, I didn't gain anything through this adventure in Spain. I'll have to remember that for the next time. Things around Venice are pretty quiet, so I decided to take a little initiative and declare war on Naples. They are allied with a couple small countries and Aragon. So my hope is my fleet can keep Aragon at bay while I take Naples, who does not have much of a standing army at the moment. They'd be a great vassal to have since they own several provinces. They could provide me some good income, and they tend to make a nice fleet, so when I call them to war, they should be helpful. I don't know how this one's going to go, though. It's kind of risky, especially since my vassals are pretty small army-wise. So far, the war's going pretty well. I have all of Naples provinces under siege, and my fleets are on the watch for any troops from their allies. I'm hoping they don't show up before I can siege all their provinces. Then they should give in to my demands of vassalization. What is it they say about the best laid plans? Apparently I had forgotten that earlier in the game Naples inherited province through a royal marriage. And what that means is there's a couple territories deep in France that I can't reach. And that means I can't get enough score to vassalize them. So instead, I'm going to plan for the future. I'm going to release province as a nation and claim their Naples Greek holding as my own, which will let me connect Albania and Athens. This should mean next time I go to war with Naples, I should be able to vassalize them. That about covers it for this session. Hope you enjoyed it.